Hey everyone! Welcome back to Story Hive. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Let's jump into today's story. My pregnant sister and her creepy boyfriend tried to involve me in their twisted mess, but I shut them down and refused to help. I'm 27 and moved to the US almost 7 years ago. I have two half-sisters from my father's side, all from different women. We used to be very close, and despite both of them being illegitimate, I shared with them part of the little inheritance I got from my grandparents. They never recognized them and left them nothing. 2 years ago, my sisters also moved to the US. The middle sister, 28, let's call her Mary, got a company to host her with a work visa. The eldest, 30, Karen, not her real name, got a student visa and moved in with me. Since I was already working and earning a good salary, the arrangement was that I would pay all the bills while she would get a job at the university, as she's not allowed to work outside. That would be her spending money. I would cover all bills and food. The only thing I asked was for her to help with some minor chores. I have a dog and a cat, and I told her she had no responsibility for them while she had school and work. This was fine since I work from home and have a stepfamily that helps me maintain my home, mostly because I'm the free babysitter for them. Pretty sweet deal for a student, right? Well, apparently that wasn't enough. While she was in school, Karen met Ken. I knew Ken from the time I went to university. He's a creep, but I thought harmless. Karen was head over heels for him. I warned her that Ken had a bad reputation at the university, but she didn't care. She's a big girl, so I let it be, with the only condition that Ken was not allowed in my place. Things went downhill from there. My hours were cut, Karen's school went on pause, and she lost her campus job because of all this. We moved into a small apartment and I took a second job and did some freelance work on the side. Needless to say, I had no personal life. I am dating someone, but he was also swamped with work and bills, so we barely met each other during this time. Karen and Ken apparently got closer, and he began to appear in the apartment. Karen was not part of my lease, but my landlord was very understanding. Ken began making really inappropriate comments about me. I am not a beauty queen. I just look a bit exotic, as Ken put it. I'm mixed race from the Caribbean, so I have a bit of everything, and somehow it all shows. Karen looks more like our father. He was of European descent. In all honesty, Karen is more attractive. I only look foreign in this little intermountain region city. Ken would go out of his way to touch me, and was just invasive. I managed to keep to my room when he was around, or used the excuse that my pets needed a walk. I didn't know exactly why, but Karen kept pushing for me to spend time on my own with Ken. It will be good for you to bond with your future brother-in-law, she said. They had only been dating 7 months at this point. Whatever, I didn't care. I found excuses to avoid it. In November 2020, I got a better position at my main job, so I was able to quit my second job and have more me time. I reconnected with friends, and one of them asked me if I was okay. I asked why, and he told me Ken had been saying he was very close to getting me for personal time. I was not okay with that idea, and I very loudly said I'd rather be hit by a train than do anything with Ken. Since I'm in a small city in the Intermountain region, the kind where most people know each other, a lot of people had text messages or creepy stories to tell me. That was it for me. I went home and demanded an explanation. They didn't deny it. Ken even said Karen had said it was fine, and I was doing them a solid as her sister, since he had a fantasy he wanted to go for. I told them both they were disgusting, and that Ken had to leave. Ken left with some insults sent my way, and Karen began telling me she didn't see the problem since my partner and I were on a break. We were not. I told her I was not for her to sell around like property, and that she had 2 weeks to find a place of her own. I was done with her. I called all my relatives, sent them copies of the text messages I was given, and no one in our family wanted anything to do with Karen. She moved in with Ken a few days later. It took me some effort, but I was able to get a restraining order against Ken. I couldn't get one for Karen. Still, they disappeared from my radar except for a few encounters, which were easily solved by showing I was about to call 911. Then today happened, and I had to hold back my laughter. Mary had kept tabs on Karen since sisters and all, and she messaged me with a notice, "Hey, Karen just called me she's pregnant and Ken kicked her out." I just stared for a few minutes and responded, "Oh, that's sad." Mary knew and supports that I don't care or have any intentions to help. Karen used Mary's phone to call me. She begged me to help since Mary is only letting her stay for a week before she moves to another state. She said that she missed her little sister and had no one else to go to, that she knows I have family health insurance I pay for private health insurance for two relatives who are in hard times and have health conditions, and that I could do something like that for her pregnancy medical bills. This baby is a blessing, and I should want to help her raise it, meaning I pay for everything. I let her pour her heart out for a good 5 to 7 minutes, then said nope. I ended the call. She tried calling again for a while, then stopped when I got a text message from Mary saying she had left her phone on the counter and was sorry for the spamming. Most of my family agrees with me, even Karen's mom. The only one who disapproves is Karen's aunt. She's not my aunt, but I called her aunt anyway since I've known her for many years. She's been putting pressure on me most of the day. She only stopped when I told her one more message, and I would show her text messages to my stepfather, Faith R., who is her landlord. I feel bad for the baby to a point, but this is one of those moments where all I can think is this is not my circus and these are not my monkeys. When someone mentioned the regional inconsistency, I never looked into it since I didn't really care. Where I live, I heard Midwest and Northwest interchangeably. As far as I was concerned, it was the same thing. We don't have that type of regional system in my country. So I decided to Google while at work and found out neither is right. I live in the Intermountain region. Thanks, random stranger, for making me check on the messy regional system. Not even Google agrees on it. Also, a small explanation on my grandparents. They were very old traditionalists. By the end of their lives, they didn't have much to give, so they chose to give it to the legal grandchildren. My sperm donor father had many children, I might not even know all of them. My grandparents were just tired of every other year having a new grandchild appear, and in some cases, a much younger mother attached last. As for Karen's visa, she had an extension since COVID, but that is over. She's overstaying her visa. This is very common. I have relatives that do it, I don't agree, but I also had one foot in since my stepfather is American. The aunt can't afford it, she's not in the US and life's pretty much rent-free, my mom's old house in our home country. Update 1. Mary called me this morning to have brunch and discuss things related to Karen. She told me she understood I don't want to be part of the mix, but she really wanted it to be discussed, and after I could just walk out. I know Mary and I know she's just trying to leave everything in order before she leaves the state. She's the peacekeeper of my siblings. I agreed on the condition that there was no way Karen would come home with me. Mary just says she tries to follow you, I'll drag her out myself. So I dressed up and went to brunch with my sisters. I'll skip the pleasantries and family drama. Karen attempted to come with us once. Mary set all the cards on the table. She explained she couldn't take Karen with her out of state because she's getting married to her longtime girlfriend and they can only afford a one-bedroom in her new city. She also said Karen was insane if she thought Mary would allow her to live with me, even if she had the power to make me take Karen back. Karen was lucky she even let her stay with her for these last few days. Mary told her the only reason we were doing this was that her mother had begged her to at least put Karen somewhere safe, or find a solution for the pregnancy. Mary then turned to me and asked if I could arrange a payment plan with her mom. I told her I'd think about it, but that I really wanted to be left out of this. Mary understood and even reassured me she was there only to sort things out for Karen, and that she had no intention of forcing her to live with me or asking me to take over her problems. Later, we met with Karen's mother. Karen's mother was emotional and stated that she was very sorry for the way things went. I told her I didn't hate her. I had to distance myself from Karen to avoid further problems. I said that while I wouldn't take her back, I'd agreed to provide her mother with the info for some local resources to help with Karen's situation. I still won't help with the costs, but I'll pass along some local resources that might be useful. I didn't get any drama from Karen's mother. She was polite, and she said she'd figure things out. She understood my point of view and even apologized for putting me in that position. I think this is the end of this mess. I'm moving forward with my life and will focus on my own family and partner. Karen and Ken can sort their mess out on their own. Update 2. Life has started to settle into a more predictable rhythm now that the whirlwind surrounding Karen and Ken has finally calmed. After the chaos of the past few months, it sounds like Karen is slowly piecing her life back together in a small, affordable place. I'm relieved to hear she's getting some support and is trying to make things work for herself and the baby. As for my relationship with Mary, the dust has settled. We had a heart-to-heart after all the drama. The tension that had clouded our interactions has lifted, and our sibling bond feels stronger and more genuine. It's a comfort to reconnect without the weight of the situation hanging over us. Ken has been notably absent from my life. I haven't heard a peep from him, and I sincerely hope it stays that way. The peace of mind that comes with not having to worry about him intruding is a huge relief. With Karen's issues finally out of the way, I've been able to redirect my focus back to my work and personal life. I'm rediscovering the joys of having free time, reconnecting with friends, and nurturing my relationship with my partner. It feels good to enjoy life again without the constant stress and interruptions that plagued me before. The community response to my situation has been interesting. A few people have reached out, curious about how things were resolved. I've shared the basics but kept the finer details private to respect everyone's boundaries. It's been reassuring to see how sharing my experience has helped others who might be navigating similar challenges. Overall, the sense of relief and closure is overwhelming. The ordeal was tough, but standing firm in my boundaries and handling the situation as best as I could has been worth it. I'm moving forward, focusing on the positives in my life. Thank you to everyone who supported me through this turbulent time. Your encouragement and advice made a significant difference. As I transition into this new phase of my life, I'm excited to embrace the opportunities ahead and continue building a future free from the shadows of the past. Thanks for tuning in to today's Reddit story. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on more amazing stories. See you next time.